Hello and welcome to an RSG review of the Old City Leviathan. This game was released on the 3rd of December of 2014, just over a month ago. I discovered this game after it had been through Kickstarter. Although Postmod didn't reach their target, they still went ahead and made the Old City game like they promised. I initially played it the day after it came out and did a playthrough on my channel. This was a quick run through of the game and was really only for visual purposes, so I missed out a lot of the storyline. This week, I went back to do it again and did a full playthrough of it, reading all the text and discovering every area. The Old City Leviathan is a first-person exploration game where it is most likely that you take control of a man named Jonah. A narrator talks at various intervals with either comments on what you can see or he gives you a bit of cryptic backstory.
Simple little animals, aren't they? Filthy, no doubt, but can you really blame them? I suppose that if I were to hate them for their nature, I would be just as filthy.
The game is more or less set between two places, a water treatment plant, which is based in a modern day city, and the second place is an old medieval-like fantasy city with statues of strange beasts. At the beginning of many chapters, you start in a child's bedroom with strange music playing. The rest of the storyline and visuals, I'll let you find out yourself if you ever decide to purchase the game. The game surprised me as when I first heard of it, I thought it was just a world where you could walk about and see great things, but then I played it and it had a thrilling storyline to go along with the amazing scenery. This was a pleasant surprise and really put this game high up in my best games of all time list. Although many would argue that this was not a game, many would call this a walking simulator. That isn't true. There's no such thing as a walking simulator unless someone makes a game in which the main point or feature of the game was to walk. In this game, you, the player, picks up the story, finding out what is actually happening and piecing it all together. If you think that this game is just going to be a stroll through an old city, think again. Now, onto some ratings. Let's start with price. This game is available for £11, or about $16. This seems to be standard for this sort of game, and I think it is an acceptable price. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 for price. For gameplay, if you're a hardcore fan of first-person shooter games, then you are going to hate this game. That's the truth. With that being said, the controls for it are very easy. WASD to move, mouse to look, E to interact, and left click to zoom in. Using all of these controls, you search, discover, and piece together the story. However, you're going to hate it if you hate reading. You can, however, do what I did on my first playthrough and merely play with the visuals. You don't pick up the storyline, but it looks great. Gameplay, 8 out of 10. That last point brings me to the next rating, aesthetics. Without a doubt, this game is a massive 10 out of 10. It just looks great. With that being said, we're on to how well the game runs, and with it being run on the Unreal Engine, you get a low FPS count depending how fast your computer is, but it's still playable. For that, I give the speed a 5 out of 10. Does this game have any replayability? Yes, to an extent. The second time I played it, I understood it a whole lot more. I realised where stuff fitted in, and I found new places. Although, if you do find everything and go everywhere the first time you play it, then there isn't much point in going back and playing it again anytime soon. Based on that, I give replayability a 5 out of 10. Now, I'll do scare factor. This won't affect my overall rating of the game, I'll just add it in for fun. I can say that there are no jump scares in the game, but many times, whilst playing, you do get a feeling of creepiness as you are alone in the world. Except that dead person. I'm that guy. I'm that guy. Yeah. Basically, there are a ton of dead people. Because there isn't much to be afraid of, scare factor sits at 3 out of 10. So that's my review of the Old City Leviathan. Overall, I give this game a score of 7 out of 10. Obviously, the game doesn't cater for everyone, and there have been a lot of comments on the point in it. Personally, I think you should buy it and immerse yourself in this amazing game. I've been Domala Douglas, thanks for watching this RSG review.